for this last question. It's from Stephen James, please. Stephen James. We'll go around the table fast.
OK. So, regarding the gay wedding cake that's been in the news, should the courts be deciding whose rights and beliefs are more of a priority?
Yeah, this is in Northern Ireland. The people who run a bakery, Christian-run bakery, and they refused to put on the cake that was proposed, support gay marriage. And as a result, they were taken to court and fined £500. What do you make of it, Tim Farron?
It's a shame it ended up in court, but when all said and done, it's important you stand up for people's rights to have their own conscience. But if you provide a business, it's absolutely vital that you treat everybody the same and don't discriminate and don't act in a prejudicial way.
How can you play top trumps on rights? You can't, can you?
If you're providing a service, I think that's the key thing. If you're providing a service, then you need to do so without prejudice, without discrimination to those who come through your door.
Nicky Morgan.
Well, I think, as Tim said, I mean, this is the court case is about the application of the Equality Act, or the equivalent in Northern Ireland. So, yes, I think that's why the courts were involved. But that was not to say that somebody's view wasn't, they couldn't hold that view. But if you are operating a commercial business, operating a commercial service, then yes, the law has to apply to you like it does to all other businesses.
So people could go back again and again, the gay rights community, to this bakery and ask them to bake the cake, and they'd refuse to bake the cake, another £500, and another £500, and another £500. Could then that be right?
Well, one would like to think that people are sensible enough not to do that. But yes, I mean, the law is the law, and we all have to follow it if we're particularly running a business like that.
Stella, Creasy.
Or perhaps what we recognise is that discriminating against people on the basis of their sexuality has no place in the modern world. That's why we have this legislation. And more than that, I just have to say one of the things that broke my heart, and I know you're a regular viewer of this programme, David, but anybody who saw Loose Women and saw Colleen Nolan comparing it to having a cake with a message of support for ISIL on it gets why we have to continue the fight for equality in this country and speak up and say, actually, everybody has a right to be treated fairly. I know you're a regular viewer.
I am.
You might even go on it one day. Oh,
I have been on it.
So you must have seen her comments and just been horrified. It shows how far we have to go yet in actually making the case that everybody deserves fair treatment and, more importantly, dignity. And that's what those people are feeling.
In Northern Ireland, in a sectarian society, would it apply if somebody wanted a religious something written on a cake that would offend the other side, a Catholic, Protestant?
We have discrimination legislation for a reason, because we recognise in the modern world still there are people who sometimes judge people in those kind of ways, and we want to make sure that nobody treats that. How would you like it if someone did that to you, David?
Did what to me?
If somebody judged you in that way. I feel worried and ashamed that sometimes the way we talk about the fight...
You've lost me now.
Because if somebody said something so core to your being, that your sexuality was something that they could judge in that way. But you know what? Everyone's laughing about this. Why is this funny? If it was about someone's skin colour, we wouldn't laugh about it. But we're laughing about homosexuality. That tells us the way we've got to go yet to make Britain a country where everyone's free.
Owen Jones.
If this was an interracial couple, quite rightly, we wouldn't be having this debate. And the fact is, if you want to operate a service, you have to abide by health and safety law, you have to abide by other legislation, and you have to abide by equality legislation as well. There's no place for those sorts of attitudes in the modern world, but if you do have those attitudes, in my opinion, don't run a service that's open to the public. It's as simple as that.
Henry DeVay. Briefly, if you would.
Frankly, I was absolutely... Well, it shouldn't have even had print. It should not have even... Yeah, it shouldn't have even been a story. It's a non-story. And I think, as a business, they should turn the key now and go home. Because, frankly, a customer is a customer. Does it matter? You know, for goodness sake, this is 2015. You know, whose business is it? Whether you're heterosexual, lesbian, homosexual, who the hell's business is it?
Okay. I'm sorry, the hand's up, but I can't go because our time's up, and I get shot if I...